Hi, so my name is Max Grauer, and I did my summer internship at Brand Symbol, a global branding and naming agency here in my hometown of Charlotte, North Carolina. I worked directly under the CEO and president, Clayton Tolley. A little bit about what Brand Symbol does. Brand Symbol develops some of the world's strongest brands, implements effective and efficient marketing plans to support those brands, and evaluates and improves brand performance as a whole. I didn't really have a formal orientation. On my first day, I was given access to the programs and resources that I'd be using during my internship and received brief instructions on how to use each of them. There really was no formal orientation. I was mostly out to do the research and learn how to use everything on my own. Um, I got kind of a basic understanding from my supervisor, and then I really took a couple hours on my first day to go through and watch tutorials and pretty much trying to do it all on my own. Um, the first week was really all about learning. I was given a pretty big assignment to learn about large account management. I was assigned a company called Diageo, and I was assigned to research that company, provide details about it, and relay that back to my supervisor and some members of the sales team that are actually using that information to do a lot of branding work right now. Um, Again, my supervisor basically gave me the assignment, wound me up, and let me go to kind of see how I would do it. It was kind of like a test or a trial by fire to see how I would perform and how I would go about getting all that information, compiling it, and presenting it back to them. I felt like I did pretty well on it. I feel like it was a good way to learn. Um, Very hands on, and I feel like I would learn well that way. So I thought the most interesting thing about my internship was that I was the first intern to ever take this position at Brand Symbol. The objective of my internship was to establish connections with private equity firms as a way to build relationships with their portfolio companies that might have branding needs or are looking for a resource to name some of their products, specifically pharmaceutical companies as well as med device companies, mostly healthcare industry. It's been very interesting because, like I said, I've been the first intern at Brand Simple to do anything like this, and that means that I've pretty much been researching and laying the groundwork, actually writing a syllabus for future interns that take my position um, next summer. And it's been a really interesting learning process. And during my time here, I've been able to strategize and work independently to find the best way to complete the objective and to accomplish my goals. It took a while for me to get out of my comfort zone. Not that long, actually, maybe a day or two. But it the position involves a lot of cold calling and figuring out who's the best person to establish a relationship with at some of those private equity firms that I was calling. So, in the beginning, there were a lot of phone calls. I was told that I talked a little fast, which I had to work on. Might be doing it now too. And I would even get a little tongue tied. Also, there were those times you just have to deal with straight up rejection, like someone saying no to you. And that was hard to get used to at first, definitely. Oops. So I did learn a lot about myself through the process. I learned that I really do enjoy sales a lot. That was my previous internship experience that I had last summer with a company called Campus TVs. And I also really enjoy the branding industry as a whole. I first actually met Clayton when I was probably 8 or 9 years old on a swim team, and I just remember he was telling me that he named the Xbox and the Cadillac Escalade, and I thought that was so cool when I was that age, and now to be doing it is a pretty cool experience. But also, I've really enjoyed working with the private equity and could see myself following either path after graduation. I'm a finance major, so private equity sounds pretty cool, but I've really enjoyed working in sales and in the branding industry. It's definitely a lot more complex than I imagined, the work that goes into it. It's the not only just the coming up with names, but the safety testing of those names for pharmaceuticals and having doctors actually write out what the name of that prescription is going to look like on a prescription pad to make sure that it doesn't look like another brand name and keep people from getting prescribed the wrong thing. It's the amount of work that actually goes into all of it is pretty mind blowing. It's not just spitballing names. It's doing the research and the research on the companies and meeting with those companies to find out their needs. But it's definitely been very interesting. Um, so at Elon, I feel the courses that best prepared me for my time at Brand Symbol were business communications and business policy. In business communications, I learned a lot of really good effective communication skills. Um, talking to superiors and and typing a message or sending a message that conveys exactly what I want to send across. I've definitely I learned a lot from that class, but I think I really honed that skill during my time at Brand Symbol. In addition, business policy that I took fall of my senior year, well, this last fall, um, taught me a lot about researching companies and industries as a whole. We did a lot of case studies, studying specific companies, learning that company's history, their financial statements, the products they had coming out, trademarks they had, what they were doing right, what they were doing wrong, and all that research and learning how to find all that made me successful in this large account management, especially with that first assignment that I had to do with Diageo, learning all about the company and who to talk to within that company. And looking back, I think if I wanted to do something differently, I probably would have read up a lot more on the branding industry and read up a lot more on sales because I felt like I maybe could have done a better job impressing people in the office, kind of coming in with that knowledge prior to. I did learn a lot in my first week, but I feel like if I came in, I really would have wowed the people in the office and Clayton especially. But that's really about it. And thank you for your time. Hope this presentation was helpful and you learning a little bit more about my internship. Thanks. Bye.